Nothing like a bit of eyeball fingering.
Yeah, exactly.
Light eyeball fingering.
Light eyeball fingering.
Conversations on the Colourful Couch. The Colourful Conversation.
All right, well, hello, whānau, and welcome to our first instalment of Conversations on the Colourful Couch with Jel from Curly's Jewels. We're very excited to have you, Jel. Thank you so much for coming in. I was thinking recently about your recent release, Foolish, that you've been doing, that released on the Rock. Yeah?
Yes.
And also Hauraki, right?
Well, we had a bit of conversation and they did play.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was thinking one of the questions that I really wanted to ask you was, a lot of musicians, when they start out, they don't really realize like the length of time that it takes to get to where you have got. So I was wondering if you could detail for us your journey and how you guys as a band have got to releasing stuff on the radio. How long has that process taken and what was involved?
We've been a band for ages.
Yeah.
Ages and ages. We have been a band for 13 years. And that has, it's been a journey as any band has had, you know. Basically, it's been just getting together, releasing music, playing it as much as we can. We've always said we build a fan base one person by one person, and that's probably the most important thing in the world, is just getting our music out to people, getting people to listen to it, and just firing it out to radio stations. And that's not just, the Rock and Hauraki and all that, but there are so many radio stations all around New Zealand who have supported us over the years as well, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's building relationships, it's and with people all throughout New Zealand, you know, and around the world. So yeah, it's just keeping on. And being consistent and trying to put out quality music. And that's been our biggest thing, I think, is just having high quality production music. And that's why we haven't got a heap of stuff. Like, we haven't got catalogues and catalogues and catalogues of music. You can't find a million songs of Curly's, you know what I mean? But what you will find is quite high production music, which is what we've really tried to strive for.
Yeah.
And that's been our push, I guess, is to try and get high quality music out to as many people as we can, and then hopefully the radio likes it. And that's kind of been our journey, I guess. But that's taken a long time to get the like of the Rock to play it.
Yeah.
Which we're very grateful for that they have done with Foolish. That's fabulous. I mean, obviously that's always been a bit of a goal of ours, to get them to do that, and fantastic. We hope they keep doing that. That would be great. But yeah, it's been a long time coming for that to happen, and it's been just trying to strive to get quality, high production, radio quality production music out there to get to that point.
So would you say, like, come at it from a place of, like, write the music that you want to hear that's really high quality, and then if it gets onto the radio, that's
then
also
lucky
nice.
us. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we want it to be a legacy that we can leave, that we feel proud that it's as high quality as we can stand to hear it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that's a really authentic way to approach it, because I work in the commercial music industry, and a lot of it is like very, very similar, and it's similar because of the kind of like machine that makes it, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're an artist that's trying to put new stuff out into the world, you know, it doesn't have to be like groundbreaking or different or anything, but just something that's not the same stuff that people hear in every location and every business, you know. It's like really helpful to start from a place of what is authentic to you, and then from there, hopefully it will.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like, that's why Curly's, for us, we've never really had a genre either. We've had many people try and put a genre around us as well.
Yeah.
But we've just come from, this is our music, this is what we play, and then we'll try and make it as well produced as we can, whatever it is that we've put together.
Yeah.
Make it as well produced as possible, and then hopefully radio will like it.
Yeah.
You know, we know people like it because people come to our shows.
Yeah, exactly.
And people listen to it, and then we leave that legacy out there, and hopefully that's what radio will pick up. And lucky at this stage, we've picked up what we've currently got out there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's true. You guys draw a really great crowd as well. Like, we've been to several Curly shows, obviously.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
you for coming, and thank you others who have come.
Please
do continue to do so.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Definitely go. I was wondering about, like, Foolish, the most recent tune that you have written. What inspired that tune? Like, how did you guys come to write it? And like, what is it about?
That particular tune is, it's what it is about, in fact, is about something that a lot of people have experienced, unfortunately. It's kind of weird to say that, but so it's about when you encounter a person in any part of your life. It could be someone that you are with as a partner. It could be someone that is your workmate or your work boss. It could be somebody that is your friend and that you are hanging out with and they're fabulous, and all of a sudden they start stealing the light out of your soul.
yeah.
One of those ones, you know.
Energy
and
vampire.
yeah, one of those little, a little narcissistic human. And and you didn't realise in next minute that's who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. And so it's taking the power back and all that sort of thing, taking your control back. So that's what that's about. Yeah.
Nice.
So and it's unfortunately resonates with far too many people.
Yeah.
Which is lovely that it resonates, but I wish it didn't, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of those ones. But so yes.
It's a shared common experience is always like a good kind of place to write from as well.
Absolutely, but it's a beast and it's an awful thing that it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Who is your favourite vocalist and why?
I have a great many. Excuse me, but I suppose, can I give you a couple? Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid, and this is why, I guess, when I was a kid, I was raised in pubs. So, so my mum and dad managed pubs. So we moved all around the place, and so I was raised in pubs, and there was always a jukebox, right?
Yeah, nice.
And so very, very blessed to have the jukebox always rolling. And my parents are kind of old. I was adopted, and like we're an older generation of music, and so we'd often have like Shirley Bassey, which was nice. I love. But there'd always be like Tina Turner rolling out of the jukebox, you know what I mean? And so, glorious vocalist. And then there'd be also a little Janis Joplin. So I would say like those three would be kind of these powerhouses that I remember as influential, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a heck of a lot of other ones. I mean, gosh, you got some Alanis coming in there a little bit later on, and, there's all kinds. But
Alanis is still really popular today.
Really still good, influential in so many ways, you know.
Yeah,
but then there's also Madonna, who's not the most fantastic vocalist maybe, but so influential in lots of other ways, you know.
Yeah.
So there's all of these voices that are coming, but I would say that those three would be the first that it took me ages to figure out where some of these things had come from, but then it took me ages. But those three, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bought this car recently for like $1,000, and it's vintage almost.
Oh, glorious!
It's like 2001.
Ooh, the vintage of it all.
But it still has a cassette player, and in the cassette player when I got it was Madonna, and like. That whips, actually. Madonna whips.
Yes.
Yeah, my love puppet.
The Immaculate Collection, honey. I tell you what, how immaculate that was. It changed my life.
Nice.
It really did. I tell you what.
Yeah.
No, definitely. It's like she's not like the most amazing singer, but she's hearty. You know? Like,
she's hearty, and that's a good way of describing Madonna.
Yeah.
You were mentioning how your parents managed pubs. Like when you were growing up, what types of bands did you guys see in the pubs? Did they do live music and stuff like that, or was it sort of?
Yeah, like there were live bands, but it was more like, it was more like your bro who would turn up with the guitar. Oh yeah, like the bro playing the guitar. But one thing I do remember who would turn up would be Billy T. James. Randomly enough. Yeah, so super lucky to have. I met him once. Like my dad came and grabbed me off the back lawn when I was doing gymnastics because, quite the athlete. Yeah. So I was doing gymnastics one day and he was like, come on. And of course, Billy T. James show was a mad thing when I was a kid because, I'm that age. But got to meet Billy T. James just like he was hanging out in the bar. But yeah, that was one person who would turn up quite regularly. Damn, that's cool. Yeah, I know, not quite the musician side of things, but I thought that was pretty rad. It would just be a dude and a guitar quite often, or it'd be covers bands quite often.
Yeah,
well.
nice.
But I don't remember exactly what kind of bands as far as like the big names of the 80s, to be fair, it probably was. But
big names.
Yeah, the big names. The big names. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I've worked in pubs doing a lot of covers band stuff over time, and it's an interesting environment. Like, it would be
Yes.
interesting to be a pub owner, I think.
Yeah, back then it sure would have been.
Yeah, in the 80s. Back then, before they stopped allowing people to smoke inside as well. I think I remember when that happened.
Oh, I remember the smoking.
Yeah.
yeah. One of my fond memories of being a kid.
You can like walk into old pubs and you're like,
Oh,
that old pub smell.
you know, childhood. I walked to the beer fridges and
Yep. The beer-soaked carpet of
You know.
the local pub.
it's a good time.
Yeah. Always a good time. So when did you know that you wanted to be a musician? Did that grow out of your parents' pub business, or was there was there some kind of other calling that you had?
Well, I have always known I wanted to be ridiculous and in front of people.
Nice.
Yeah. So I guess it's always been was more acting driven actually. I always flung around like an idiot with a hairbrush in front of mirrors and things, singing
yeah,
around,
yeah,
and I was
absolutely.
always singing.
That's canon.
Yeah, well, that's just, that's what happens, right? That's what we do. But that goes without saying, that one. But yeah, I always sung, but I lean more towards acting and always did that. I went to drama school and did that stuff, and always did just sort of straight play acting, always. And then a friend of mine, Sarah, got me to audition for a musical theatre show one time. And I never even knew I could sing till I was sort of 18. And,
Oh, wow,
and did a
yeah.
show and someone went, wow, you can sing. And I went, oh, okay. But yeah, anyway, went to musical theatre and, went to acting school, did acting stuff, auditioned for a musical theatre show, and then ended up doing lots of musical theatre stuff and ended up leaning into music stuff. And then got into bands from that, kind of randomly.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I never really kind of went, I want to be a singer. I was just doing acting stuff. And then
that's
it ended
interesting.
up doing singing. So I fell into it from that. But got into cover bands and then ended up doing, just it kind of just graduated into rock music.
Nice, yeah.
Boom, 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 rock music. Always loved rock music though. That
Musical
was
theatre
of
kind of
the-
lends itself to that as well.
It's funny how it works, eh?
Phantom of the Opera and stuff. What's your favourite musical?
Probably Les Mis, just because that's where I felt like I didn't even. It's funny because I'm not the typical, your typical musical theatre person. I love them when I go and see them, but I don't venture to go and see them very often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish I saw more of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's,
But like that, eh? It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, if I get a ticket, I might go along. But
they're spinny though.
I hear you.
Big spinny. Yeah,
I hear you,
for us,
honey.
for us musicians.
I know.
But
But yeah, that's randomly
in the
enough,
show, but
isn't it
not can't
strange?
afford to go. Yeah,
That's the one, darling.
Yeah.
If I get a comp, No.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I love it though. Like it's that was the show that I just ended up playing a really big part in once. And
which
then
one?
Eponine.
Favorite.
Yeah. So I got to play that and then went, oh, okay, rad. And then rolled off and did lots of good stuff in musical theatre. So anyway, it ended up doing rock music in the end, which has been the biggest and most fabulous thing in my life. And I love it. Yeah.
That's super awesome. It's
Yeah,
an interesting way because people usually go into like, I don't know, at least in my experience, they do like a little bit of music and then get into acting that way. So it's interesting that you come from the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you and the rest of Curly's Jewels meet each other? Like, how did this come to be?
It's how did it all magically appear? So Aaron and I sort of began by doing just a duo, doing covers, like acoustic covers, because I just put it out there on the internet one day and went, I need to do some rock covers, but I don't play guitar well enough to do them all by myself. I could play it well enough to go ling-a-ling-a-ling and play a few,
Yeah.
but not well enough to do all the ones that I wish to do. And so I put it out there on the internet and Aaron went, I can play guitar, here we go, huzzah. And so that's how that went. And then all of a sudden we went, let's write some other ones. And then we did. And then, we need a bass player and a drummer. And Aaron went, I know these guys. And then both.
Nice.
We got Andy and Corey. Thank God we did.
Yeah.
And then that's how that happened. And both we had curly shorts. And the reason that the name came about, because I know it's dumb.
I quite like it. I thought it was a cool name.
Oh, it's the most ridiculous name in the world. But here we are 13 years later. It came about because when we were the two just doing acoustic covers, we needed something to put on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Aaron went, we need something to put on Facebook. And I went, I was in a changing room. And I went, curly shorts. And there it was, and now there it stays.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sort of
and
came
so
into
that's
being.
that's what happened. And so then we became the four of us, and we have not changed from the four of us. And it was just, that's how simple it was. And we've been ridiculously lucky that the lineup has never changed, and never should it.
Yeah.
But, we're very, very lucky for 13 years of us managing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Good
13
lads.
years is like who get to be really good friends after
Oh,
13
they're
years.
just my homies. I
Yeah.
love those lads. I love these boys. They're my family,
Undies. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They're legends.
Some bands take, just way overthink coming up with a name. I mean, I think we probably went through about 5 iterations of our name before we actually picked one, settled on one finally. But yeah, that was, I like how it just came into being. You're just like, there it is, Curly's Jules.
We may be a little too cruisy on a lot of things. Maybe
great,
just a
though.
little bit too lax.
That's cool though.
Chill. Boom. That's it.
Boom.
With no grammar, by the way. There will be no comma in there. What are they called?
Who needs it?
What are they even called? Who cares? Because we don't have one. We don't need it. Never mind that thing.
They didn't even have standardized spelling until I think 1500.
Well, then they didn't need it, so why do we need
Yeah,
that?
it didn't need
Poop
it.
to that.
That's Jade's philosophy as well. He
Ah,
doesn't-
poop to
he
that.
doesn't believe in standardized spelling either.
Poop to that, Jade.
It's called dyslexia.
I call it a disturbing lack of faith in standardized spelling. He calls it dyslexia. Anyway,
Each to their own.
So there is one singer who started off as an actor in acting and
Oh, yeah.
eventually made her singing career, and that was Cher.
oh,
Oh,
Cher.
well, she's
Nice.
okay. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
She
take
seems
Cher.
to have done okay.
Yeah.
May still be singing at 70, so
Yeah, true. Actually.
Legend. Oh, I do love Cher.
I just read her book.
That's great.
Magnificent wench, eh? Oh,
Good. So good.
it's so
Iconic costume.
iconic. Reveal. Oh, I can't even do one layer of clothing correctly, and she's like, reveal. Oh, legendary,
It's a
legendary.
disgrace, isn't it?
I'm a disgrace, girlfriend.
No, I mean, just
My God.
people who are just good at costumes and clothing. I don't understand.
I cannot.
Nothing matches in my wardrobe.
I cannot even match pants to a top. I live in a singlet and pants. Singlet and pants. I cannot even match this.
Just sniff test it, honestly.
Oh,
That's
bro,
it.
that's about it.
Yep,
That's about it.
good enough.
Good enough.
Good enough.
Amen. I'm glad. The bonding day, Broghan.
Yeah, I
Love this.
went to the extra trouble of finding my most gaudishly patterned dress
You look
for the
fabulous.
backdrop of this gaudishly patterned couch.
Well, I'm enamored.
And also distracted slightly by the patterns. It helps to break up the rays from German U-boats. Which is
Fantastic.
yeah.
Magnificent.
What are some challenges? Sorry, we'll get back into being sensible.
Oh, I'll have a
What-
drink. Hang on. Let's
Yeah,
get
no
serious.
fucking coffee break. Yeah, do this first.
Can I share something?
Yeah, go nuts.
I'm
Please do.
one of the top 1 to 2% listeners in the world of Alanis Morissette on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Are
Oh,
you
nice.
really?
Yes.
That is something to be proud of, boy.
Yeah,
Get in there.
good taste.
And all I really want.
It's because I listen to it when I go to the gym. Because you're just like,
It's the
wedding day.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
I can see that. Yes.
There's some anger in there, which is really good for lifting weights.
Yeah.
I could see that.
It's
yes.
not fair to remind me.
Yes. I love that. Oh,
Oh.
good work, Ross.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was shocked though. I was shocked.
I feel like that needs some celebration. And I feel like I know what the soundtrack to that celebration will be.
It's not fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We ought to know what the soundtrack is going to be. Anyway, sorry. Moving
Glorious.
right along back to our very, very sensible interview so far. Aye. What are some challenges that you've faced getting to this point, and how did you overcome them?
Challenges.
Challenge. So,
Well, well, I'll give you a personal challenge, and that is a little lyrical blockage.
oh yeah, we'll struggle with that. Yeah.
I had like a bit of a lyrical blockage for about 2 years, in which I needed to write many songs for recording.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it because it became a demand and then you were like, nah, I don't want to do it?
I think so, because
Yeah.
I'm very much like that.
Yeah.
As soon as someone tells me you must, I shan't.
Your brain just goes,
It becomes no.
no.
Yeah, it becomes
Yeah.
no, thank you. No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the struggle is real. Or just the motivational decrease.
Yeah.
Becomes real.
Dopamine went out of the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a mad struggle. But to be honest, aside from that and really having to push through that to get timeframes and get through timeframes, and especially I suppose because Aaron and I are partners, and that's something that you have to keep in mind to not let that affect anything else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and we are lucky in that way that we don't let it, but it could, if you let it. And so making sure that we manage it and getting through that is kind of a little bit of a struggle for me, just to make sure that I push it enough to get it done, but don't let it become an issue,
Yeah.
Because I am a hoha. And if anyone doesn't know what a hoha is, it means that I get a little bit about things quite quick. And I'm a very happy human, and I am like that generally. But I am a hoha as well, and I'm very honest about it, because that's the truth. I get about things, and poor Aaron is very patient with it. But when it comes to lyric writing, I can just be. I get to a point where I'm like, I just cannot actually shma anymore. There is no more fleur in
There's
the
no more
canon.
shma. No.
There's no more fleur
Zero.
to be had, and where can I pull any more fleur from? So, you have to stop and actually move away from it, because it's just not going to work out.
It sucks when there's no more shma in the shma
Yeah,
canon.
what are you going to? You cannot pull any more fleur from where there is more. No more shma to be had.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no. So you have to walk away from it sometimes. And when there is time frames, it can be a little bit of a hard push.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest personal difficulty or challenge within our whole band situation. But the honest truth is, and we are all goods, don't you worry.
Yeah.
We manage it, and it's more me managing myself, because Aaron's actually an extremely patient human, especially when it comes to me. But yeah, it's we manage it, and that's where I love it, because in the end, it turns to kind of magic, and it feels like it, because once you actually get the ball rolling, it's flipping heck.
Yeah.
How was that such a difficulty in the start? But as far as a band, it all flows pretty well with us. We're quite lucky. Challenges are more for Aaron to deal with, because he's the one that has to deal with all the difficult stuff. He's our manager, and he's our guitarist. So he's got a lot on his plate. So really, as far as the band, we get the easy side of things. We get the point at me and sing. We get the point at you and drum. We get the point at you and play the bass.
Nice.
For Aaron, he's the one who has a lot of stuff on his shoulders to deal with. So he deserves a little... as do all of those who are the ones who have to manage or deal with a lot of stuff. Because I think a lot of people who self-manage bands, or who deal with a lot more than just one role in a band, they are the ones who get the challenges quite often.
That's like a full-time job,
It
eh?
really
it really
is. And a lot of people don't get the credit they deserve for having to deal with most of the challenges of the bands. We try and make sure that he gets his flowers, but really we don't all see how much work goes into it. So
It's
I
so
think
hard,
that they see more challenges than a lot of us do. So, yeah, flowers to all of those who have to deal with that stuff. And thanks, Erin, you do a great job.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely the case. That like there is so much more that goes on in a band than simply writing and playing the music.
For sure.
And yeah, it's a full-time job outside of doing that as well, just to organize that kind of stuff.
Big time.
What's some advice that you'd have given to yourself when you were just starting out as a budding musician?
What is some advice I would give myself? I think I can tell if I was giving myself advice when I was starting out in this band, I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah.
As far as a new musician, I'm not sure, but when I started out in Curly's, I would have given myself the advice to pay attention more at each of your gigs as to what happened during it, because my memory is so ridiculously shocking. That to be a little bit more present at some of the really awesome stuff that we've gotten to do, because we've done some really cool stuff, and this goes for a lot of the shows or awesome things in general, for anything that anyone does. But like for me, I look back at especially some of the cool stuff we've gotten to do in Curly's.
Yeah.
I wish I'd been just a little bit more present, because some of the, especially gigs, they just go by for so quick, they're fleeting, as you would know, babe.
Yeah.
You stand there and you do your thing, you're like, man, that was rad, but
What just happened?
it just happened. And then it's like, oh man, okay, cool. And you're lying in bed going, your head's going,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, that was good.
Next
You
one.
know,
Next one.
next one.
Next
And
one,
like, it's great, but they all kind of schmoogle into one.
Yeah.
And I've had some pretty rad experiences, and I know I had them.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to remember a
them,
lot
yeah.
more about them. And it's just because, they are such a mad, fantastic of a time. But I just wish I had been more present. And I continue to tell myself now to be a lot more present in especially these show experiences, just because they are such a mind, you know.
So much work to do them, and then it's like 45 minutes, and then it's next one, and there's so
and
much
then it's
work
gone.
to do the next
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
It's just they're just such a huge, being on stage is such an out of it experience that a lot of people don't get the privilege of experiencing,
Yeah, a lot of people fear it more than death, to be honest.
They
That's
do,
it, yeah.
and so many other people would wish more than anything that they got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And
weird how it's like one or the other.
I know, and I see it as such a massive honour and privilege, and just it's such a rad thing to be able to do it. And I take it for granted so often now. I realise that now, but it's such a fleeting experience that I think if I went back, I would tell myself just pay a little more attention to those moments that you get to do it, because they're pretty freaking rad.
Yeah.
So just pay a little more attention. Just be a bit more present in them.
I guess that's also the value of making sure that you're filming every gig, not only reviewing it, but then also just so you have those memories,
Yeah, totally.
I think everyone else is at the gig also not being present, right? Because they're all on their phones.
Yeah, totally. And that's the other thing.
Except
I do
for you, and you don't get the record. Everyone else
totally.
does. Yeah.
But that's the thing too. I try and if I go to a gig for Pearl Jam, for example, or any gig, your guys' gig, any gig, I don't want to be standing there with my phone in my face the whole time.
No,
Take it down and actually pay attention, because I don't watch all of the things that I put on a phone. I don't watch them back, but I want to have some of those memories still.
It's a bit dissociated from actually watching the gig as well. I think. Yeah,
I feel like I've dissociated enough.
Yeah,
I've done enough of that.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that, and that's exactly what I would tell myself, to stop dissociating, because you're going to do a lot of that, and maybe just. I know your memory's a little short, but try, babe. Come on now, be a little more present.
Yeah. Exactly. Being present is super important.
Yeah, give it a go.
If you
just give it a go, yeah. Give it a go, love.
If you could open for one band, which one would it be and why?
Oh, should have brick, love. I don't know. Oh, crap. There's so many. Can it
There's-
be a
oh, it's so-
festival?
it's so
or
hard, eh? I'm so sorry, that was a rough question.
just a festival, darling, a festival. Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
oh.
because then you've got shitloads there could be there.
Yeah.
You know?
Which festival? Like, I've always wanted to go to Wacken in Germany. Like, that would be banging, I reckon.
Shapers.
probably wouldn't play
Aaron and
there,
I got to go to the last Soundwave. That was a double, like a 2-dayer,
cool.
so that was pretty rad. Because then then you've got a whole bunch.
Yeah.
We always thought that there was this one band that got to open for like the whole 2 days, and I was like, rad, bro, you got like a free pass.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty rad. Maybe I'd open for like Janis Joplin, just because then I'd get to hang with her because she's like dead, so
Yeah.
obviously
Well, yeah.
that'd be good. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It'll probably just some rad festival that means I get a free pass, and like whoever's walking in can just be like, "What up, G?" And then
Yeah.
we can just hone around for the weekend, like 2-day at least
I
weekend.
was just imagining you hanging out, just like talking to Janis Joplin's skeleton, just like.
I was hoping she'd have some
Bedtime.
skin and shit away. That'd be pretty rank, eh? Like she's just rattling her bones up there, like boom.
Yeah, you are also a pirate in the pantomime Treasure Islands. That's very, very,
Potentially why that's on the mind.
very
eh?
canon. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Janice, and her
Oh,
estate.
how appropriate, to be fair.
You're a huge inspiration to us. Yeah, no, I think like festivals are would be such a fun time to play. We haven't played any yet, but that would be such an awesome time.
Oh, massive one, very rad.
We should do some more in New Zealand, I reckon. We need some more like rock festivals and stuff.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Who's got some money? Bring it
Oh,
on.
not at the moment, hey. Economy's a bit in the toilet. But
Well,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
possibly there could be some other things in front of the old rock festival, but
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
We were speaking before about Janis Joplin's skeleton and
Yes.
Treasure Island. How did you get into doing pantomimes for your day job? That's a very exciting day job.
It's a random one, eh? It's
Yeah.
good, eh? I got a phone call or a text or something. Some form of communication came towards my face.
Yeah.
From a lovely lady called Amanda Stone, who is I'm sure she loves me calling her this, but I call her the Grand Pumbaa of the Pantaloons. She's the director and writer of these shows.
Yeah.
And she reached out to me because they were doing Aladdin, and the person who was playing the genie was sick, and they had 2 weeks, I think, or like a week and a half or something before the show was going on, and she knew me from acting circles all around the place, and she had always wanted me to have some involvement, but was a little bit scared to ask, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, stuff it. I'll ask her if she's
Yeah.
going to step in," and asked, and I went, "Yeah, may as well," and so I did, and then next minute it's 9 years later, and here I am.
Yeah, that's how it works. Eh?
Yeah, so that's how it works. And I love it.
That's cool.
I love it. I love it. And so I do it in the holidays just about every holidays. I've literally forgotten how many or which shows I've done.
Yeah.
I play the villain every time.
Oh, nice.
I am the villain.
The villain. Well, it's always more, I don't know, it's always more interesting, I think,
Yeah.
to play the villain. And they're always a little bit more nuanced in terms of their character, at least.
Oh,
I
they're
really
ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
I get forgiven every time in the most stupid way. Do you know how I get forgiven for everything? Like,
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, and I pretty much try to kill everyone with
Yeah.
a black spot.
Oh, right,
Which is
yes.
a gruesome pirate curse.
Yes.
But
That's what
I
got
get
Janis
given-
Joplin. Sorry, Janice.
Oh, good God!
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
Ruth. Yes, but the way I get forgiven is by saying, they said, "You have to be nice," and I say, "I can be nice. I can be very nice."
And that's,
All is forgiven.
and then you stop
And then
giving
I-
people communicable viral diseases
Yeah,
in the form
try-
of the black spot.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and just take over the ships and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Done. Sorted.
Sorted. Forgiven.
Ta-da! It's good, eh?
That's really cool. I always like asking other musicians what they do like outside of doing music as well, because there's an enormous variety of things that we do outside of it. Yeah. That's really
cute,
cool.
eh?
Yeah. So, but it's always something creative. Yeah. Like Jade works in video game music, which
Yes.
is pretty neat. Yeah.
And well done, by the way, with your release of your fabulousness.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that
my
one,
God.
that most recent one. Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm obsessed with the song.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
obsessed with it. I play it all the time. It's in my head all the frickin' time.
I'm very excited. Thank you. Cheers for that. I'm
Amazing.
pleased to
So
hear that. Yeah.
awesome. All the time. It's in my head.
I'm sorry.
How dare you write a fantastic song that is always in my head? No. Well done.
Just on that, actually, we had to say, all I'm hearing is da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na,
Yeah.
da-na-na.
Good.
Yeah.
That's all I'm hearing is that hook.
Excellent.
Such a good hook.
That's what we want.
Absolute banger.
No, well done, you guys. So cool.
Well done on the release of Foolish,
you,
Jill.
darling.
Please check out Foolish. Where can we find Foolish?
Well, all over the place, darling.
All over the place.
Just look it up with Foolish and Curly Doors next to it and you shall find it.
Yep.
The
Apple
magic.
Music, YouTube.
Yes,
you know,
all
yeah.
over the YouTubes and the internet machine.
Fabulous music video that accompanies it as well. So definitely get online and check that out. Hey, thanks so much, Jill. This has been a really, really fun experience, and it was really nice to chat to you today. And yeah, man, awesome. All right, see you, team.
Conversations on the Colourful Couch. The Colourful Conversation.
This is what it sounds like when cows cry.
These are